You can eat McDonald's in your own city as well. Just try something new. You're already there.
The fact that when people come over, they should be a little bit adventurous and try new foods and maybe order some different sharing plates.
Hello, Molly. Welcome back for another episode. Thanks so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about food today. And I heard that you prepared something for us as well to show us. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have my props already. Well, not all of them, but I had some of them. But this should go with a warning. If anybody's hungry, like maybe they should listen to this later because it's going to make them even more hungry.
Okay, I love the disclaimer. Okay, so the reason why we're going to be talking about Spanish food is because you have a company that gives tours and educating people about the food. So I'm really not sure how to start this episode, to know where to start from. So I'm thinking just to give it to you, give the stage to you, and where we're gonna start from. How does this sound?
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. Right. So I think we should start at the beginning. What do people think of when they think about Spanish food? And I think the first thing in people's mind will be paella.
Yes.
Go on, tell me.
I would say paella and tapas.
There we go. Paella, sangria, tapas, maybe Spanish omelette, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So first I'll talk about tapas because it seems to be always on trend at the moment. And I think sometimes what happens, especially in the US and in the UK, that people get things kind of a little bit mixed up, where meze, which is kind of more Greek and that area of the world, and Italian food and Spanish food all kind of gets mixed up, and it's all called tapas. I even heard that there was a restaurant somewhere in the UK that were doing Indian tapas. it's like what? Yeah. So one thing is sharing plates that can be anything you like, but when you're calling them tapas is a whole kind of system and a culture, and I think it needs a little bit of kind of care. So tapas is usually basically is where the restaurant or the bar have some things in their kitchen that they want to share with their guests or their clients, and they want to kind of give them a little something with their drink. And it's usually seasonal. It's usually what they've got hanging about. It's something like, when I say hanging around, I mean it's something like very easy to prepare, very quick to prepare. It's not something necessarily elaborated. Initially, that's how tapas began. So it's normally a bit of cheese that they can slice quickly, or a bit of ham, or a bit of cold cuts. I have here my salchichon. Salchichon is a very typical tapa. So this is a pork product, usually with lots of black pepper inside. Absolutely amazing, delicious with a cold beer. So the tapas is normally something like that, some cold cut or cheese or something that you can quickly, the guy who's serving you a beer can quickly prepare and have it ready to go. Or maybe they prepare some big dish and then they just, put it out on a little plate for you. So that's tapas. But then when restaurants outside of Spain get the idea of tapas and run with it, then it becomes a product, and then it becomes something they want to charge for, and then they want to make it fancy because they want to charge you £10 for every single plate of tapas. So then that's when it's all getting distorted. So then what happens is people who are in other countries, they have tapas in their local tapas bar, Spanish restaurant, whatever. And then they think that when they come here, they're going to get the same thing. And it doesn't work like that. So yeah, anyway, just a little bit about the tapas culture.
I think here is the point that we can mention, that from the previous podcast episode when we talk about, you said that in Granada, you get a tapa for free when you order a drink.
Yeah, so, in Granada and in other places like Jaén and Almeria, in some places in Cordoba, they also do it. And basically, it's just like a welcome. It's like maybe you go and you have you order a round of drinks, and they may put some olives or some salted almonds, and then maybe some little slices of cheese or something like that. It may be something very simple, but it may be something warm, like a fried ham croquette or something like that. But it's basically almost like a welcome to the place. But it's also very healthy, because it means that if you're drinking alcohol, you're not drinking the alcohol alone. So when the effect on your body, when the alcohol goes in, you get a very spike in your blood sugar. Whereas if you're eating at the same time, it's better, because that is more controlled. So basically, the alcohol doesn't go to your head so quickly as if you didn't have the tapa. So it's also kind of the barman looking after you.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Okay. What was the next one? I think we were just going to tapas.
With paella is also something that many people associate with Spanish food, and they say it's Spain's national dish and things like that. But paella really was a very humble dish that originated in Valencia, and is also very popular in Alicante. And basically, it was the people who were cultivating rice in that part of Spain. They were the agricultural laborers, and they were cultivating rice. So they'd use the rice, make a barbecue, like a fire, to prepare the rice, and throw in there whatever they had to hand, which would have been maybe some beans, maybe some vegetables like an artichoke, or some whatever random vegetables they have hanging around their land. And then the protein would have been, again, what they had. So it may have been rabbit, it may have been, I don't know, like a water vole or a snake or a whatever they had protein hanging around. I mean, I'm talking in the olden days when things weren't like they are now. So paella was basically when somebody is working, they can't go home because they're working in the fields, and they just whip up some kind of bake on this fire outside, using olive wood traditionally. And that's how the paella originated. And then each family have their own recipe, like many other families across the world with different foods now. Like in India, every family has their own curry, and there we go. In the UK, a lot of people have their own way of making gravy, and it's like, no, it's got to be my grandma's gravy, that kind of thing. So paella originated as a very, very humble dish, and then it's over the years it's become more traditional. It's very traditional, and it's also become kind of more formulated. So it's kind of more, it has to have this ingredient, it should be done this way. And the paella that everybody speaks of, the famous one, is the Valencian paella. And that Valencian paella doesn't actually have seafood in it. It's rabbit or chicken, it's vegetables, there's a certain kind of bean, like a pulsa, like a flat yellow bean. It obviously has rice, it has saffron, and the base, which is tomato and onion. So it's basically a lot of vegetables with chicken or rabbit. But there's not seafood in there. The seafood paella is something different. The seafood paella is something that everybody associates with, Spanish people associate with summer holidays, Sunday with the family by the beach. And that's the thing. If you go to the beach and you ask for rice, well, logically you want fish on it, because I mean you're in a coastal area. The fish is good, the seafood is good, the shellfish, and so you want to mix that in with your rice. So that's what we call a paella mixta, because it might have meat and fish, or a seafood paella. And then rice, there's so many dishes, but because it's a rice dish, it doesn't mean necessarily that it's a paella. That's the thing.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. So how did the seafood paella came together? Is it just people from the coastline, they just say, okay, well, instead of rabbit, why don't we just put what we have, which is seafood?
Well, it's curious, but seafood paella began in the area in Cadiz province. So Cadiz, some of the people who are growing rice in Valencia, Alicante region they got to a point where they'd run out of space. So they cultivated all the land with rice. They had no more land to expand, but then they've got more families, sons, daughters who want to progress. So they took their knowledge down to Cadiz in an area that's marshy. It's perfect for cultivating rice. They took their knowledge over to that area and planted rice in that area. And in this area, we're on the Atlantic, where the red prawn is very good in this area. So you've got the mix of the sea and the rice. And that's where the paella would have begun, the one we know, which is the seafood paella in that corner of Spain. So that's in Cadiz region. So that's in Andalucia. But you can't, that is a paella, but you can't call it valenciana. The Valencia paella is the traditional one from Valencia. And the one down in Cadiz is a seafood paella or a mixta.
I see. Okay, that's interesting. So Cadiz and Valencia. All right. What was the next point of stop that we have? Next food.
So another one is sangria. So everybody thinks that we're all drinking sangria all day, every day, and it's it's so not true. What we're drinking all day, every day is wine, lots of wine, good wine, red wine, white, mainly red wine, Spanish drink, but also some white wine, and beer, lots of beer. We drink a heck of a lot of beer, but beer here isn't considered as like it's almost like not even alcohol. I mean, it does have alcohol in it, but we drink it so kind of readily and freely. It's like you're gonna ask for a Coke, you probably ask for a beer instead of Coke. Like here in MacDonalds, they sell beer. It's just like normal. Yeah, it's just like normal, because here beer is considered like what they call refresco, like just a soft drink.
A refreshener.
Oh. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So here we drink, especially when it's warmer weather. So from, I don't know, like May until September, we're just drinking beer like there's no tomorrow. And sangria is something that they used to, in the traditional wine places, the traditional wine bars, when the temperature goes up, like now, it's really warm. It may be over 30 degrees. We're just in June. It's probably about 34 degrees where I am today. So when it gets to these temperatures, and it's going to be like this for months on end, you don't really want to drink red wine in the daytime, because it makes you sleepy, and then you've got to work in the afternoon and you can't, whatever. So what happens is these people who run the wine bars, they're going to lose trade, because people aren't going to drink so much red wine. And if all they sell is wine, then they're in a mess. So they invented this thing called sangria, which was the red wine with some sugar in it and some ice. And if you put the sugar and the ice in quickly, it brings the temperature down of the wine, because this is a time when they wouldn't have had any fridges or anything fancy. So this was a way of serving a red wine chilled very quickly. And
so you said sugar and ice at the same time. Is it important to put it at the same time?
Yes, because it has this effect on cooling the drink.
Okay, so it cools it faster, or what do you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because you've got no fridge. So you're in a very hot place. You've got no fridge because it's the olden days.
Yeah,
no electric.
I understand that. I thought it's very important to put the fruit, the sugar, and the ice together at the same time.
Correct. Yeah. So then it brings the temperature down of the drink, and the person can drink it. And that is the origin of sangria.
I see.
So it's none of this fruit and peaches floating about and this and that and strange alcohol inside the drink. It was just that. That was the origin of sangria. And then maybe it's got a little bit kind of corrupt in time. And later in New York, it was taken up as a cocktail and then repopularized in modern culture. And then it's got things in it, like it's red wine reduced with soda or reduced with white clear lemonade, and then with orange in it or lemon, ice, and usually something stronger, maybe brandy, maybe martini, something added to it. So there's not really a standard for sangria, which is a little bit like the paella story. There is a standard because the Valencians have invented it, but originally there wasn't a standard paella. It was just whatever family had around, they'd stick it in the pan. Well, sangria is a bit of a mystery drink. So if you go to ask for a sangria, depending where you are, it will be very, very different. It might be stronger, it might be weaker, it might be horrible, it might taste like chemicals, it can be completely different. Usually local people only drink sangria when they're making it themselves, and they would only make it themselves if they're in a very kind of big type party situation. They don't want to be messing about with glasses and uncorking wine, and they want to make something big so that everybody can quickly get drinks. But usually it's in a very informal, casual setting, maybe outdoors, something, that kind of thing. But a very informal kind of party. Not very often Spanish person goes to a bar and asks for a sangria. Not very often.
That makes sense, because when I go to these bars, I usually order sangria. Sometimes a glass, sometimes I find somebody to share if we have a whole jug. But around the tables, nobody's drinking sangria. Now I know why. Because there's no formula for it. You don't know.
Here people drink tinto de verano, which is more similar to the original sangria, which is red wine with lemonade, what we call here casera, and a slice of lemon or orange and ice.
Yeah.
And that is cheaper than sangria and much nicer than sangria, and also a lot more uniform. So wherever you go, it kind of tastes the same.
Okay.
So there you go. There's a trick. Tinto de verano, not sangria.
I mean, I know tinto de verano, but I thought sangria always so more fancy, so much more beautiful.
Yeah, but it's marketing and it's watching films and God knows what.
I understand now.
Yeah.
Do you know roughly when the sangria, the original sangria started? Which period?
This is a long time ago. I don't know exactly the day, but maybe this is 17th century, or I don't know, long time ago, before fridges.
1500, 1600, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Long time.
Do you have sangria as a prop?
No, I have another bottle.
What's that? Banon.
Olive oil.
Liqueur?
Olive oil.
Olive oil looks like a bottle of gin.
Yes, because it's a very special olive oil. So this is olive oil from Jaén province. So I don't know if you know, but Jaén is one of the places, the place in Europe with the most olive trees per surface area.
Is it?
And it's
Jaén, you said?
Jaén, it's called the region of Jaén. And in fact, if you go to Jaén, the moment you set foot past the border, all you can see is olive trees, like as far as you can see. So Jaén are producing amazing olive oil, but generally Spain is producing amazing olive oil. So there's usually this best olive oils in the world, a very prestigious prize that appears, that they do once a year. And on the list, the top 10, normally in the top 10, there's about 5 or 6, I think more 6 of the top 10 are Spanish olive oils, but mainly they're in Andalucia. So this area where I live and the southern part of Spain is very important olive oil production, and the quality is just getting better and better and better as they transfer more land from more normal production to organic. They're studying the health benefits of olives more and more and more. And so olive oil is really important, but not only because it's good to buy the stuff when you're here. Oh, there we go. There's Jaén. That's the capital of Jaén. But you can see even in the city, they've got olive oil. They've got olive trees right on the edge of the city.
Yeah. And so Jaén is in Andalusia.
Yeah, it's the next door neighbor to Granada.
Ah, Okay,
Yeah.
right next to you. Right next to you. Okay.
Yeah. So it's very important, olive oil. But what I was going to say was,
Yep.
if people are coming to this area, this part of Spain, it's an excellent opportunity to get things like this premium olive oil for lower prices than if it's imported into your country. But also just to think that practically everything here is what we eat is made using olive oil, because it's so abundant around here. So anything that's fried, anything that's produced is generally made with olive oil.
Mhm.
So it's very healthy, even though we're eating all these tapas like all the time. The tapas, generally, the quality of them is really very good. And the food we're eating here is absolutely excellent. So we've got a gazillion like opportunities to eat local produce. In fact, locals here are quite suspicious of things that come from far away. They want to eat things that they know who's made it or where it's come from.
Just like sangria, they want to make it themselves.
Yeah. They want to know what's in it. They don't want any antifreeze in there. And here we've got things like this. Mangoes. Yeah. So in southern Spain, in Malaga and Granada, we produce mangoes, we produce avocados, papaya, lots of things like that, tropical fruit. This mango smells absolutely amazing. It's like, I've got to eat it today, it's ready. Amazing. So we've got lots of fruit. Not only people think of oranges and lemons, we've got a ton of them, but we've also got things like tropical fruit, like mangoes, avocados that are kind of increasing in popularity and demand. So we're getting more plantations of avocados in this area as well. So on the food side of things, I mean, it's just never ending. You have so much selection, so things are so fresh. And that's something I really noticed when I go back to the UK, how expensive the type of fruit and vegetables that I'm eating on a daily basis, how expensive it is when I go to the UK. And also the quality isn't always quite as good because it's been refrigerated, it's taken longer to get there. I mean, last week I went to pick cherries off the tree. Yeah, so we're really spoiled around here. So basically that means that because we have so much local produce here, the standard is very high. And then the local people who go to restaurants demand a very high level because they're eating very well at home. So people that eat very well at home, you can't serve them rubbish in a restaurant because they won't go back. So it all of this whole infrastructure drives up the quality of the food, even in the most kind of normal bar, because otherwise it won't prosper. If the locals aren't happy there, it won't be open for very long.
I understand. Okay, so do you have your own mango tree? You can if you want, isn't it?
Sure, I have avocado trees. I haven't got a mango tree. I've got almond trees, olives, a lot of trees. I can't remember. Oranges, lemons, quince, apple, peaches, cherries.
Is that all in your garden?
No. It's special land.
I thought like you.
No. I live in the city. Yeah.
Okay.
I live in the city, but in the village we have land, like I'll say it's a farm, but it's not a farm because it's not got a farmhouse and it's not got a dog. But it's like a land with all of the trees. The thing is, the almonds, they're in one type of land that is a very dry, hilly, difficult terrain, and the avocados, they're in a different type of land that's looking towards the coast, that is more kind of humid and it's a different climate. Even though it's in the same village, one has one orientation and one has the other orientation. So I'm very lucky that I can just go and pick my own olives, avocados, peaches, I even lose count. The thing is, I forget. And then the season comes around and I go, oh yeah, amazing. Now it's time for whatever. Right now we've got, what have we got now? Oranges have just finished. Well, they finished a while ago, but we've been keeping them in the fridge. So we've still got oranges left. Big oranges, massive table oranges. And lemons we have almost all year round. And now we've got plums, a heck of a lot of plums.
Okay. What else? Do you have more props?
Yeah, I have down here. This is the last prop. Honey.
Wow.
But this honey,
yes,
is made from mango.
Mango honey? What?
Yeah. So imagine if you like mango and you like honey. This is honey made from mango. It's amazing.
Wow.
Very, very sweet. It's like doubly sweet.
So is that in your region as well?
Yeah, because where the mango trees are, then this is collected from beehives that are on that land. So yeah. It's
I see.
So it's the coast of Granada and the coast of inland Malaga and the coast of Granada. So Vélez, Malaga, and the coast of Granada have this. Yeah.
Mango honey. That was interesting. Oh, okay. Well, really interesting stuff over here. Do you think we missed anything?
I don't know. There are so many things to talk
I'm
about.
sure
Spanish
we missed.
food.
I'm sure we missed a lot. But
just I think just one thing is that the fact that when people come over, they should be a little bit adventurous and try new foods and maybe order some different sharing plates and be a bit experimental and see kind of just order randomly off the menu and try new things that maybe they wouldn't think they might like, or they're not so familiar with. For example, my family, in the UK, we don't tend to eat pork very much, but in Spain, pork is like number one meat. Pork is in everything. But here it's like, it seems that they really know what to do with it. So they cook it very, very well. So even if you think you don't like pork, when you eat it here, you like it. So I think people should be adventurous when they come to Spain and try new things and experiment with all the tapas and the sharing plates. And it's not such a big commitment. If you don't like something, then you can always order something else.
That is so well put. I mean, they know what to do with it, but it really makes sense. And as you said, order something that you don't know. I think that was a great ending of the podcast, because you can eat McDonald's in your own city as well. Just try something new. You're already there. Perfect. I think that was great ending. Thanks so much, Molly. Thanks so much for the props and showing us and for the knowledge, for everything. You were great. It was a great pleasure. And I wish you just a fantastic day over there.
Okay, thank you. It's been great speaking to you.